Hello everyone, welcome to Anime No Me, and thank you for joining us for another One Piece video. The full leak for chapter 1059 of One Piece is finally out, so in today's video, we're going to talk about all of the events that are looking to happen in this chapter. As we like to remind everyone with all of our leak videos, please remember that these are still leaks, and they could have a slight difference from the official when it does come out. So bear that in mind, but we do expect that these are still going to be pretty true to the events happening in this chapter. But before we dive into the leaks, if you're new to the channel, or even if you've watched a bunch of our videos, we'd be absolutely honored if you consider leaving us a like, or even subscribing and maybe leave us a comment letting us know what you thought of the video. It really helps us out and motivates us to make more content, and if you'd like to help out the channel in a bigger way, consider sharing this video or your favorite with a friend. But without further ado, let's get into these leaks. So my friends, the chapter opens up with a ship sailing on the seas near Sphinx Island, which of course is Whitebeard's hometown. And we can see that Marco is leaving the ship and is thanking the crew for taking him there. In an interesting turn, the ship that is brought Marco there is indeed the ship of the red-haired pirates. Shanks appears and then asks Marco if he's sure he didn't want to join them. But Marco replies by telling Shanks to stop fooling around, and he's tired of babysitting the big pirates. So Shanks tells Marco not to exaggerate because he's not a troublesome pirate type. But then Beckman tells Shanks that of course he is the type. And while everyone laughs at their captain, Shanks agrees. Everyone then says goodbye to Marco as he flies to Sphinx Island in his hybrid form, getting further and further away from Shanks' ship. And then we see a flashback begin, where it takes place in the land of Wano during the night of the festival after Ryokugyu's attack. Luffy appears frightened, shouting, "What? You're not coming with us? Become a pirate!" Marco in the panel also seems scared and also saddened and starts saying Yamato's name. Saddened that Yamato doesn't want to join the Straw Hats. But then Yamato looks at both Luffy and Marco and says that he had to be sure that they already noticed why Yamato wanted to stay. And of course, this is the incident with the Admiral, because it was only solved because someone used very powerful haki. Now sure, Kaido may have fallen, but now there are many people that could be coming after the country of Wano, and Yamato determined that he could not allow this. There's no way that Yamato would go adventuring with the Straw Hats, knowing that the country of Wano could be in danger. Yamato speaks to Luffy, looking totally convinced of what he says. Yamato even winks at Luffy with confidence, and Luffy then looks back at Yamato very seriously, but he understands what Yamato says, so he accepts Yamato's decision and leaves Momonosuke and the others in his care. Zoro asks Yamato to be careful not to hurt Momonosuke's feelings, because Momonosuke has a very strong sense of pride. And Yamato tells Zoro that he knows this. And Yamato also says that he's going to pursue the goal in a land of Wano yet to be realized. And we then see Sanji crying over Yamato's decision. Marco then looks to leave and tells Luffy that there's a ship that has appeared in the country of Wano and that he plans on leaving on this ship. And then we see a little flashback back to Marineford, where Marco had the help of Jinbei to take Ace's brother with him. Luffy then thanks Marco for helping him during the Battle of the Best in the War of Marineford. Marco says that Ace would have been very proud to have seen how far Luffy had come, and Luffy replies with a laugh. So as Marco flies away from the country of Wano, he leaves one last message for Luffy, saying that from now on, this era is his, and that Luffy should move forward with determination. And Luffy answers him that for sure he would do it. As the flashback ends, we then return to the present, and we see that Marco has finally made it to Sphinx Island. The story then shifts to Amazon Lily, where we see that the Island of Women has been destroyed, and the mountain in the center of the island has a large crater in it. And then we see Gloriosa saying that this is the first time that men had been able to invade the island so abruptly, and the damage shown to the city looks to be enormous. We then see Hancock saying that as long as she is on the island, the enemies will keep coming because she's now going to be hunted for being an ex-warlord. And she says that she wished that she could marry Luffy, and her sister Gloriosa then says that she always says that and it's not news. A new flashback then begins, and it takes place during the sailors' attack that happened a few weeks ago. The Marines managed to break through the city walls, but the Kuja counterattack, and the Marines then order a dispatch of the new pacifistas called Seraphim. In the group attacking, we see Vice Admiral Yamakaji aiming to stay on the front lines, and he orders the recording cameras to be activated, and then shouts saying that Hancock had never heard about these new Vegapunk inventions. And then a little girl with wings and a little flame on her back appears in front of Margaret and Sweet Pea. But they don't want to fight a child. I mean, this is a little girl who has star-shaped pupils, but then a laser in her hand opens up and shoots like the pacifistas we've already seen. Suddenly, Teach's pirate ship appears behind the Marine battleships, and a tsunami pushes the Marine ships out of the way, allowing Teach to land on Amazon Lily. The Marines shout, worried that the Sea Kings might notice the tsunami. But Teach lands on the island with Katarina Devon and Vasco Shot, and as he sets foot on the island, Teach says that he's here for the Pirate Empress, of course referring to Boa Hancock, that he wouldn't allow Hancock's power to fall into the hands of the Marines. Katarina says that Hancock has a wonderful face, so she wants Hancock's head to be her treasure. Teach tells Katarina that she can do whatever she wants as long as he gets Hancock's power. Vasco says it's to capture Hancock alive and take her with them. Marines ask the Vice Admiral Yamakiji to give them the order to attack Teach, but Yamakiji says that they must wait for permission from Marine headquarters. Teach then attacks the sailors with the power of the Goro Goro no Mi while telling Boa Hancock to leave. But then we see Kobe enter with a group of Marines in Kuja village and tries to reason with Boa Hancock, calling out her name. Kobe says that he would not use violence against her as long as she agreed to come along with the Marines, promising that he will then leave Amazon Lily immediately as long as she comes without a fight. Marigold and Sandersonia tell their sister to stay away because they will take care of the Marines. However, Hancock goes into battle, saying that it was ridiculous. She would not be on either side because she bows to no one. We next see Teach's subordinates asking for help against a new enemy that has appeared. It's a child, but they don't seem to be able to do anything against it. And then we see an explosion caused from a laser from the Pacifista. And then Teach, looking surprised, says that this just couldn't be happening. And he begins to describe the little child. White hair, dark skin, black wings. And then the boy shows up where Teach is. We see in the next frame that the boy also has a flame on his back and carries a large sword similar to Mihawk's. In fact, the boy looks like a child version of Mihawk. The boy then attacks Teach, and the slice of his sword breaks the large mountain on the island in two. Teach then honestly looks scared, saying that the brat had to be a pacifista, and Teach didn't understand what was happening. The pacifista then attacks Teach again, but he stops the sword with his hockey-coated arm. And so Teach then uses his powers to absorb everything around him using his black hole power. As the battle then shifts back to Hancock, we see her use her slave arrow attack to turn all her nearby enemies to stone, including Vice Admiral Yamakiji. Kobe then orders the pacifista to stop immediately because he could destroy some of the stone statues with his laser beams. As Boa Hancock is poised to use her perfume femur attack, someone grabs her and stops her. And in an impressive double-page spread, we see that Teach has grabbed Boa Hancock by the neck and he's lifting her off the ground in front of the Kuja pirates. And Kobe is nearby, standing right next to them. And with Teach's power of the Yami Yami no Mi, Hancock cannot use her powers, and then their bounties are shown. Boa Hancock with a 1.659 billion berry bounty, and Teach with an impressive 3.996 billion berries. Hancock orders Teach to take his filthy hands off of her, while Teach laughs while saying that she had turned all these idiots to stone, referring to some of his crew members even. As Teach is saying this, we see that even Katarina Devon and Vasco Shot have been turned to stone, and Kobe doesn't know what to do in this situation, and Teach tells Hancock that he was patiently waiting to get her powers. Hancock tells him that her powers are built on her own beauty, and if Teach were to kill her, those who have turned to stone will stay in that state, and even the next user of the Mero Mero no Mi could not reverse it. Kobe says that Hancock is actually a much bigger problem than he expected, and Teach tells Kobe that this situation will get them nowhere, referring to Kobe as a hero having helped him in the Rocky Port incident. Teach tells Kobe that he had actually helped him by defeating Okochu, aka Wang Ji, and by defeating this pirate, Teach managed to become the head of the pirate island. Kobe is seen frightened as he was responsible for unintentionally helping Teach. Teach demands that all his pirates be turned back to normal, but Kobe says that it might be a problem if that happened. Now Hancock replies that she would gladly bring everybody back to normal as long as they left the island, but Teach realizes it's a lie, saying that the moment he let her go, Hancock of course would turn him to stone, saying that it is impossible for a man to not be affected by her powers. So he had no choice. Teach would have to take Hancock's life. Kobe then begs Teach not to do that. The number of victims have already been too high, and suddenly someone with extremely powerful haki appears, and it is none other than Silver's Rayleigh. Apologizing for the delay, he quickly observes that Teach is in front of him, and Teach, seeing Rayleigh, trembles in fear. Rayleigh draws his sword, and Kobe and Teach's subordinates faint, and he then asks Hancock to get everyone back to normal, and tells Teach and Kobe to leave the island without doing anything stupid. We then see that Rayleigh didn't actually come alone. Shaki is with him, and we discover her true identity, that she was in fact the ex-captain of the Kuja pirates from 2 generations ago. Rayleigh complains that he's old, and wonders if he'll actually be able to defeat Teach currently, and then mentions that the Marines believe that they'll be able to replace the former warlords with these new robots that they've brought to the island. Marigold and Sandersonia comment that these children were extremely durable and didn't even get a scratch in any of the battle, and one of them even seemed to look like Boa Hancock as a child. We're then shown a picture of that Seraphim face that the Marines used on Amazon Lily. The face is exactly the same as Boa Hancock's face when she was a child, although her pupils are star-shaped. The chapter ends with a Marine ship reporting what had happened in Amazon Lily. The Marines say that they were already landing at Egghead Station and that Captain Kobe has been kidnapped. The last frame shows us a scene from a page in a newspaper with Kobe's picture, and the narrator comes in to say that Captain Kobe, the hero of the Rocky Port incident, has been kidnapped by Yonko Teach and his pirate crew. And that, my friends, is the complete leak of 1059. And now, we'd love to know what you think about it. What do you think is going on with these different faced Seraphim, and why do you think they're copying them after the warlords? Next, what do you think Teach really means by trying to take Hancock's power? Do you think he meant to take it, he's gonna take it himself or give it to somebody else? And finally, what do you think is gonna go on now that Rayleigh has joined the battle? Let us know what you think in the comments below. So my friends, as we wrap this video up for the day, I want to thank you so much for watching the video all the way up to the very end. Be sure you comment on any themes or ideas that you'd like to see in future videos. And also, since you made it this far, give us a like or hit that red subscribe button before you head out to take on the rest of your day. Really hope to see you all in our next video, and let's keep sailing this giant sea together. Take care.